Welcome to Living Agriculture with me, Iyisa Luigare Bachibinga. I thank you for viewing, I thank you for liking, and I thank you for subscribing. Today, we are going to handle the issue pertaining feeds and feeding. When I talk of feeds, this is comprised of the feeds mixing, the feeds formula, the ingredients, and how we mix the feeds. You have been asking, how do we mix the feeds of the different stages? As I speak now, today, this is where we are. Now we have two types of feeds. We have what we call the pellets. Now, when we talk of the pellets, it is this one here. As you see it, this is the way or how it looks like. Once you buy the pellets, you don't need to add in any more ingredients, neither to reduce. Let me thank Isaac Acheyune. Manyo yansala. I was saying that if we are to go into poultry project, one, you need to know what type of breed are you going into. Two, you need to know how do we mix the feeds. Three, you need to know the signs and symptoms of the common diseases. Four, what are the ingredients used in mixing the feeds? Here, where we are. I told you we have two types. The first one here, it is the pellets. You don't need to add in anything. If you are told to do so, make sure that the feeds you are being given, it is fake. We have the pre-starter. It is this one here. Pellets. We have the growers. When I talk of the pre-starter, in the local chicks, the commercial layers, the croilers, the rainbow, the sasso, or Sussex. Let me remind you, we have 7 types of chicken breeds, of which you know every them. Local, commercial layers, the croilers, rainbow, sasso, and Sussex. The feeds we give them, we start with the pre-starter, pellets. And this is served for only 1 week, maximum 2 weeks. Then there we start mixing. Even if you are into the broilers, the short-term chicks, you can start with what we call the pre-starter. Second is the growers. Third, the finisher. So please, make sure whoever is viewing, what I need is you to become a manager of your farm. 2, you need to learn how to mix the feeds. 3, identifying the genuine feeds and the fake feeds. But the bad thing is, when I talk of you at least sending some money to Brian at the camera, you start complaining. Yes, again, I've started asking for money. You are mean. Happy New Year. That is done. Now, let's see what we call the pre-starter or chicken duck mash. The chicken duck mash, we serve these chicks from 1 day old to 2 months. How do we mix them? One, we start with the broilers, I mean the Maize brand, this one here. But before buying the Maize brand, make sure you put this Maize brand in your hand. Squeeze it like this. Open the hands. If you see that it is in this format, you are at the right place. One, once you are going to buy your Maize brand, make sure you squeeze it as I am doing here. Open. If it is scattered like this, that Maize brand is genuine. Now, if at all, by the way, this is what we call the sawdust. Some people mix the feeds with the sawdust. We are going to mix it and see how it looks. That's our sawdust. Let's add our Maize brand here. We add other ingredients here as it is done, because we are going to be seeing everything. Now this is already the mixed feeds as you see. It's already mixed. Get it in this format. Squeeze it like this. Can you see the difference? This one here has remained in the way it is. Now the mixed one, it is here. Open it. So the difference you can see. This one is genuine, and this one here is fake. Why? It has the sawdust. That's where people fail. They mix the sawdust with the Maize brand. And when it comes to all stages of chicks, you will not run away from coccidiosis, avian flu. You know that. Constipation, loss of appetite, and decrease in eggs production. It is due to this. Our broad objective of living agriculture is to transform the lives of the community through agriculture, poultry, rabbitry, piggery, and livestock. I hear more people there on the media here complaining, why should I talk, or why do I talk about pigs? In spite of being a Muslim, I'm a veterinary officer, and it is my profession. There is a difference between the belief and the believe. However, because the religion or the faith, I'm entitled to save the pigs if at all they are dying. But the belief, I'm not supposed to eat it. That's me. So this is how we can identify the fake feeds and the genuine feeds. We are going to be looking at every ingredient in mixing these feeds. So keep on watching. We are going to start with the Maize brand, which is here. I told you how do you verify whether it is fake or not. Squeeze it like this. Open it. Here you can see. This means that in the Maize brand, there is no sawdust. As we opened this, it remained, meaning that here it is fake. It contains the the sawdust. Let's start using the maize bran. One, we are going to use the ordinary type of mixing the feeds. Maize bran, it is here. We add, this one here is what we call the fish meal. Kyemuyinza okuyita mukene. It is calculative. In 100 maize bran, we add 30 kilograms of fish. The second ingredient, we add cotton seed cake. By the way, we have 3 types of cotton seed cakes. One, the one which comes from TZ, I'm talking of Tanzania. The one which comes from Kenya. And this one which is ours, the best cotton seed cake, it is this one which comes from Tanzania. Why? It has no fiber in it. Once we add our cotton, it will start changing the color as we continue mixing. We started the maize bran, we added the fish, we have added cotton seed cake. I was trying to explain what do we need when we are mixing the feeds. We start with the maize bran, we add fish. Normally in Uganda known as mukene. We add cotton seed cake, which is here. If you fail to get the genuine cotton seed cake, use the palm oil seed cakes. This one here, it works as cotton seed cake and is far better in fats to cotton seed cake. So please, once we mix here, what we add next is salt. We have 2 types of salt. We have the iodine salt we normally use at home, or the brown salt. In 100 kilograms of bran or broken maize, we add 30 kgs of fish. We add 25 of cotton seed cake. We add calcium. We have 2 types or 3. This one here, it is what we call the livestock feed. If not using this, we can use the shells as you see them here. So don't get lost. When we come to calcium, we have this livestock feed, then we have the shells, meaning we use one, either shells or livestock feed. The choice is yours. Of these 2, which is available where you are. If you cannot access shells, I think you cannot fail to access the livestock feed. Then, after mixing all these, you can even see this is how it is. Is it genuine or no? Which we have mixed there. Then still, we mixed adding the sawdust. It is here. You can see now. This is where you have to identify, and you should be so vigilant in verifying these feeds. This is the genuine feeds we have mixed. Then this one here, it is what has the sawdust. Please, the reason why we come to do this is to ensure that every farmer there doesn't lose your chicks due to the feeds and feeding. This was a mixture of growers and layers. Now for chick and duck, you don't need to add in sunflower. The feeds for chick and duck, the chicks in the brooder, we don't add in sunflower. Why? This one reduces the fats, of which I don't think in 1 day old chicks or 1 month we need to add sunflower. And you find that these feed dealers, when you go for mixing from there, they tell you that let's add sunflower. It is not necessary, neither needed. We have two alternatives. This is the palm oil, the seeds, and this is what we call the cotton seed cake. You use only one, you choose one, either this one here or the cotton seed cake. And I would recommend you, if you have the access of this, use this one because it is not faked. But for the cotton seed cake, we have that one from TZ, we have that one from Kenya, and that one from Uganda. The best seed cake type is that which comes from TZ. Why? It has no fiber in it. For that, that's how it is. Now, we have the second formula or type of mixing the feeds. Because today, we said we are going to handle how do we mix the feeds. We mixed using maize bran. And now we are going to mix using the broken maize. How do we do it? The broken maize here, still we can use the same ingredients. Fish. Then we can add, or we add the palm oil, seed cakes. Then we add either shells here. If not shells, we can add livestock feed. You choose one. We don't need to use both of them. And even here, if you were to use this palm oil, these are mainly Nigeria, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Senegal. That's where there are many. And if you cannot access this, please use this one, it's better. And when we are to be using calcium, let me remind you, these are shells. And this one is what we call livestock feed. We use only one. Then after that, make sure we add salt. This is iodine salt. If you can access this, fine. If you cannot access this, which I don't think, use the brown salt. Then we mix. This is the process. It is done. When we are using broken maize, we add in fish. We add in the palm cakes or cotton seed cakes. We add in calcium, or this is livestock feed, or shells, either. You choose one. Then we add salt. You can use the brown salt or the iodine salt, which I know everyone who is viewing you eat food, you cannot eat food without salt. And once this one is done, start giving your chicks from 1 day old to their maturity. Also, that one is done. Now, we are going to combine the broken maize with our maize bran. And here, it has to be 50-50. Broken maize, 50 kilograms. Maize bran, 50 kilograms. Still, the quantity of fish remains the same, 30. We are still on chick and duck. 30 kilograms of fish. Lime, this one here, we need to add only 5 kilograms. Then the palm oil cakes, it is 25 kilograms. Then from that, we add salt, 1 kilogram. It is done. Let's mix. Let's review. I told you, if you were to be using broken maize with maize bran, it has to be 50-50 to make 100. Then in 100, we put fish, 30 kilograms. We put cotton or palm seed cake, 25. We add in calcium, 5 kilograms. Salt, we add in 1 kilogram. It is done. Give your chicks. These feeds are ready. That's the third. Apart from using these other ingredients, we are going to use what we call the concentrates. Still, let's first go with the maize bran. In 100 kgs, the concentrates we have 3 types. The first one, it is the imported concentrate. But this one you see is what we do as universal farm care solutions on living agriculture. This concentrate here is made from, you don't need it to be left out. So, don't complain. Now, these are what we call the lab. These ones. Then, these ones here are what we call the jaca beans. Lab, jaca beans. These ones have to be roasted before taking them for milling. This is the concentrate which comes from these two. And when you are to be using this concentrate of ours, you add more 2 items. It is calcium and salt. Only that. Don't add any other ingredient. Then here also, it is done and ready. But before being ready, 100 kilograms of bran, we put the universal concentrate, 10 kilograms in 100. We add calcium, 5 kilograms. We add salt, 1 kilogram. It is done. This is also the finished mixed feeds. Now, secondly, what do we need? If we are into these long-term projects, chicken, like the locals, the commercial layers, the broilers, the Sasso, the Sussex, which can last for more than a year, we can use cow dung in mixing the feeds for the chicken. And it is done at 3 months. Let me stress on this. If you are to be using the cow dung, they should be 3 months old. What do? You change gradually. If you are to be using fish 25 kgs, reduce. Let fish be 15 kgs. Then the dried, roasted cow dung, 10 kgs. Mix them together. The second mixing, let the concentrate, this one here, be 10 and the cow dung be 15. The third mixing, let the concentrate or the fish be 5 kilograms. Then the cow dung be 20. That's the way how it should be. Once you use the cow dung, the eggs are going to be organically made or produced. 2, you are going to minimize the costs you put in these other ingredients. 3, the weight of your chicks is going to gain. 4, the production will increase. What do you need? 5 kilograms of the ingredients or this muken of ours. Then 20 kilograms of cow dung. You mix together to be 25, then mix in 100 kgs of either broken or maize bran. It will be done. This is done on only living agriculture. Once you finish up with all these formulas, in 100 kgs of the mixed feeds, make sure you get 1 kg or 1.5 kgs of pounded charcoal. It should be in powders like this. I'm talking of charcoal. Mix in your feeds. No more coccidiosis. No more avian flu. No more worms. The shape of the egg will be fine. Even the production will increase from 75 to 90 once you add on that. With the feeds using the concentrates, we have a variety of concentrates. We have Hendrix, there is Jubail, there is Wafi, there is Intraco, there is Neoscience, there is Comfort, and there is Kafika. Above all, we have ours. It is known as universal concentrates, which is made from these beans of ours. I remind you, these ones are called the jack beans. Then these ones here are the lab. Now the disadvantage of this lab, you need to plant them where there are trees to be coiling around. And these jaka beans, you plant them like ordinary beans. You harvest 3 times, meaning the season, it is 4 seasons, but don't wait to be reaching to the 4th season. Uproot it at the 3rd season, then replant there and then. We shall be minimizing the costs and the expenses we put in these ingredients or concentrates. The biggest disadvantage with commercial ones is that there are some chemicals added in them. Let me remind you, I'm not fighting against the imported or overseas or outside concentrates. But still, you who is viewing now, you can also plant these ones. If at all we are to be in genuine farming, in 1 acre, you require only 2 kgs in these ones. But if you have land where there are some plantations there, like banana plantations, coffee plantations, even for those who have planted eucalyptus trees, you can pass them, there are some lines between. So that is where and how we mix these feeds. Now, we are going to see every ingredient one by one. The first one here, this is the maize bran. As I told you before, please make sure you squeeze this maize bran into your thumb or your hand like this. Open it. If you see that it is scattered, that is genuine. And once you get your maize bran, you squeeze like this and leave it in this format, and you see this lump sum there, please, that's fake. Now, we have several stages or grades. This one is the pre-starter broken maize for the chicks, 1 day old to 2 months. We use this. If at all you are not using the bran. 2, we have this stage here. It has other bigger particles. It is not supposed to be feeding the chicks which are under 1 month. 1, it may fail to be digested. 2, it requires too much in feeding them. This stage of broken maize, we feed those growers and the layers which are mature in order to avoid the intestinal problems in the chicken. Finally, this is our mixed feeds used with our concentrate. You can see how it is. It is a finished mixed feed, and each kg costs 2,000. If you would desire to get our mixed feeds, each kilogram costs 2,000 at the office there, because we mix the feeds depending on the stage of the chicks you have. Please, my viewers, never add. This is what we call the sunflower. Sunflower is added to the grower's mash. The chicks which are 3 months plus, to cut too much fat. Because if at all they become too fatty, like the layers, they will not lay eggs and they may take time to lay. So we need to add this. Still, please, my viewers, this is our cotton seed cake. I told you we have 3 types of cotton seed cakes. This is depending or coming from different countries. The one of TZ or Tanzania, it is this one, has no fiber. But the cotton seed cake of Uganda and Kenya has too much fiber, which causes constipation in chicken. If you have that problem there, go into for the palm cakes. It is these ones here. It's 100% perfect and genuine. It is not faked. So, my viewers, you see, when we talk of going into chicken, one, you need to know or to learn the feeds and feeding. When I talk of the feeds and feeding, I go in the feeds formula for every stage. From here, we are going to be on the blackboard such that we write it down. If we are to be mixing for chick and duck, chicks of 1 day old to 2 months, what are the ingredients and the quantity? Abali ku TikTok mukayana ate oluzungu lususe mugende ku UPE, because here it is a worldwide training of which we need every person to be understanding. And you have been sending message that please, whenever you are training, know that it is not all Ugandans who are viewing, of which I appreciate. I have some people from Zambia, and you are many there. Some people are from Madagascar. Some are in Somalia. Some are in South Africa. In Kenya, my neighbor here, I always go to Thika, Muguga there, and I'm soon coming back there. Because we need these practicals to be put in practice. Because if it comes to challenges in the feeds mixing, please, it has to be ironed out. Why? 2024, it is a year of prosperity. So whoever is viewing, I always thank you for viewing. I thank you for sharing. I thank you for subscribing. What is missing? It is your contribution and support. Now, whoever is viewing, when we talk of the fish meal, please, we don't advise to be using this type of fish. In Uganda, we call this enkeje. These ones here are not good for chicken. Why? If at all they are milled, they have the small bones inside there which cannot be milled. And once you mix them in these feeds here, and the chicks eat the fish of this type, they are going to die due to these small bones inside which are not milled. That's why we don't advise to be using these ones. And whoever is viewing in Uganda here, we have 3 types of fish meals. There is which one which comes from Lake Victoria. There is that one which comes from Lake George. There is that one which comes from Lake Albert. The type of fish I need, it is this one here. Mokene or Mena, not this one. Once you use this, you are right. If you use these ones, you are at a wrong place. It is better if you cannot find this, you can use scorpion if you have access to that. 2, how can you identify the genuine fish? Handle it like this and start what I'm doing. You can see that what you see here, it is genuine. But some people add the cow horns. They are taking the broilers to dry them to be very hard, such that it can be milled and be sold as fish meal. You will end up your chicks dropping the production. 2, having brown droppings or blooded dropping. 3, even loss of weight. 4, death. It is due to fake fish meal. What do I advise? Make sure if you go to buy this fish meal, make sure you buy unmilled one, such that you remove all these before milling it. But if you simply buy anyhow, don't complain, neither shout. Ate naguze mukene which is fake. The best fish is unmilled one. Why? You identify and verify whether it has these ones or doesn't have. If you are not certain of these, go into the concentrate, this one here. But if you have access of these ones, they have to be very dry. 2, have to be roasted before being taken for milling. In 100 kilograms of broken or 100 kilograms of bran, we add our concentrate only 10 kilograms. Once you add only 10, you add in, this is lime. Now, if not lime, you can use the shells, but use only one. Never mix the 2. If it is done, then we shall see what comes next. Let me have a very short break and then come back, because we are still at work.